OpenAI's open source automatic speech recognition system, Rust, is coming to the Linux kernel, and Systemd is coming to WSL, and a new terminal app for iOS that you don't want to miss. All that and more on this episode of The Download. Welcome back to another episode of The Download. I'm your host, Christina Warren, Senior Developer Advocate at GitHub, and this is the show where we cover the latest developer news and open source projects. Please like and subscribe. So we've been gone for a couple of weeks because I was at Git Merge 2022. See my shirt. Videos of that event will be coming to YouTube soon, and because editor Matt was on vacation. So here is a very brief rundown of what we missed. So Adobe acquired Figma for $20 billion. That's billion with a B. Congrats to the Figma team on that. I have a couple of friends who were early employees at Figma, and let's just say that drinks are on them basically forever. Yeah, like forever. That's how that works. But anyway, congratulations. NVIDIA also announced some awesome looking GPUs that are extremely expensive and will probably require you'd have to buy a new power supply because of all the power they suck up. Like the 4090 can consume up to 600 watts when overclocked, which, okay. But despite the high price and the power requirements, I fully expect that they will be sold out immediately, at least at first, and I'm just gonna cry in the corner with my 3080. And in other hardware news, AMD's first Ryzen 7 desktop CPUs are now out, also very powerful and with some elevated power requirements. So good news for power supply manufacturers all around, I guess. Oh, and Twitch imploded or is imploding. I'm honestly not up to date on the latest drama there, but that's happening. All right, enough of all that. Let's get into the news that we actually care about. Okay, so first up, just a reminder that GitHub Universe is taking place in San Francisco on November 9th and 10th. I'm gonna be one of the hosts this year, and you guys, this is going to be an amazing event. It's hybrid, so we will have things in person, but you can also join us online. You can go to githubuniverse.com for more details. And if you're a student, you have until October 5th to apply for Micro-Mentoring with GitHub employees. This is thanks to a program from GitHub Social Impact, and they'll be hosting virtual Micro-Mentoring sessions for the 4th year in a row. So I've got details for all this stuff in the show notes and the description, or you can just check out githubuniverse.com. While we're talking about GitHub stuff, I want to give a shout out to a blog post that my girl Roselle Scarlett posted a couple weeks ago about 8 things you can do with GitHub Copilot that you might not know. I actually learned a couple of things myself, and I consider myself fairly proficient with Copilot. My favorite, you can use Copilot to exit Vim. That's awesome. Just a reminder, there is actually an official NeoVim plugin for Copilot, which is super rad. Links to Roselle's blog in the show notes and the description. And let me know what cool things you've either found or seen or experienced with Copilot in the comments down below too. Next, in some very cool AI news, OpenAI open-sourced its neural net Whisper, which is an automatic speech recognition system. And that basically means it can do extremely accurate speech-to-text transcription.
This is the Micro Machine Man presenting the most midget miniature motorcade of Micro Machines. Each one has dramatic details, terrific trim, precision paint jobs, plus incredible Micro Machine pocket playsets. There's a police station, fire station, restaurant, service station, and more.
And it's trained on like 680,000 hours of multilingual data from around the web. And you guys, it is really, really good. So this is open source and it's available on GitHub, and that means that you can actually get this running on your own machine. And there are already a number of projects that are working to make that process even easier. One is called YT Whisper, and it's designed to do automatic subtitle generation for YouTube, which is really cool. So you just enter in your video ID and it'll give you your subtitles. And then there's another project that's still in the development stages. It's called Stage Whisper. I'm actually involved with this. It's based on an idea from Peter Stern, and the development leads are Sarah Kaiser and Harris Laparoff. And our goal with Stage Whisper is to basically package Whisper into an easier to use way so that less technical users like journalists can take advantage of this neural net. So I've got links in the show notes and the description for all this stuff if you're interested in helping out with Stage Whisper. We would love to have your contributions. Hacktoberfest kicks off in a few days. This project is participating, but this whole space is really exciting, so this is super fun. And a couple pieces of Linux news. Rust is finally coming to the Linux kernel. This has been a meme for years, but according to Linus Torvalds, unless something odd happens, Rust is going to make it into the 6.1 version of the kernel. Now, I'm not a low-level language person, but this is really exciting because for more than 30 years, the only language in the kernel has been C. But with Rust, the hope is basically that there will be fewer memory errors and better security. Anyway, this has been something that people have been trying to push, as I said, for years, so this is really exciting. And in some other Linux-related news, systemd support is now available in WSL, aka the Windows subsystem for Linux. All right, I'm not going to get into the internet wars here. I'm just not. Like, I know that people have really passionate opinions about systemd, but there are a number of tools that actually depend on systemd, including stuff like micro-K8s, which is a micro-Kubernetes implementation, and system control. Now, historically, WSL hasn't had support for systemd, but starting with version 0.67.6, which is available in the Microsoft Store, you can opt into using systemd with your various distros, and this is thanks to hard work from engineers at Canonical and at Microsoft. So I've got a link in the show notes in the description to a blog from the WSL team that shares more details, and a blog from our friends at Canonical. The team also wants your feedback, so be sure to file feedback in the GitHub repo, or you can give it directly to the WSL team members on Twitter. And now it's time for my pick of the week. Okay, so Miguel de Icaza is one of the greats in open source history. He created GNOME, he created Mono, he created Xamarin, he created Midnight Commander. He's just a legend. He's very good on Twitter. And he's also one of the creators of La Terminal, which is a terminal app for iOS. And La Terminal, as I said, it's a free app for iOS, and it's one of the best terminal emulators I've used on that platform. It has great levels of polish. You can even use the secure enclave to generate SSH keys. It's so slick. And it's based off of SwiftTerm, which is an open source library for terminal emulators written in Swift that Miguel created. I love this app. It's so solid. And I just want to express my thanks to Miguel and also Joseph Hill for their work on it. You can download the app in the links down below. You can share your feedback on the project in GitHub, and more updates are going to be coming, Miguel tells me, to SwiftTerm as well. All right, that does it for me. Let me know your favorite terminal emulator in the comments down below. And while you're there, go ahead and like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to the GitHub YouTube channel for all your nerd needs. See you next time.